Do you believe that the City of Melbourne offers world-class businesses that would appeal to the rest of society?
Yeah, I think it does. It's one of the largest and most vibrant cities in Australia.
Do those businesses cater more for tourists or locals?
That's a good question. I guess you're talking to someone who kind of lives and works in a bit of a bubble here in Melbourne, so I'm not actually in the city that much. We're kind of removed here, being in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, and I don't actually interact that much with the city, but my guess would be that it's pretty even because there are a lot of people within the business and financial districts within Melbourne who are using all of the services there, working for the community of Melbourne. But then there's also a lot of tourists and visitors as well, which help to bring more money into Melbourne infrastructure. Also, there's a lot of events and things that happen here, so we have heaps of festivals. So there's like food and wine festivals and
fashion shows
and comedy festivals and like everything. Like every few weeks or month there's another festival. So I think a lot of that helps to bring people in from interstate and overseas as well.
You, as a local yourself and as a businesswoman, obviously have a large insight onto the topic. So do you think that your business is designed to attract the eye of a tourist or a local?
So just again, we're not really a business here because we're a not-for-profit organisation. So it's a little bit of a different approach because we're not actually actively marketing to people in the public. This has had more of a grassroots kind of a way of emerging. So it's been here for about 31 years and it's something that's grown over time and expanded. So can you just ask me the question again and I'll try and answer?
Well, it's just, do you think it's designed for tourists or locals? So it's more designed for...
It's more designed for locals because it was built for locals to have their own veggie patch and chickens and things like that. But it attracts tourists because it's one of the only parks like this in the whole of Australia. And we get a lot of people contacting us who would like to actually do something similar where they're from, whether that's interstate or overseas. So these people are inspired by this.
Buy like a plot and then like plant stuff into it?
They don't buy them, they're able to rent them. So yeah, they pay a fee for a year and they also have to be a member of ceres and then they're able to use the plot space. And sometimes it gets passed on from someone in their family to another person in their family. So some people have had plots here for like 20 years.
So it's like a AFL membership, it gets like passed on kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes ceres unique?
Okay, so ceres, as I said, has been around for about 31 years and it used to be a bluestone quarry and then it became a rubbish dump. So it's a reclaimed space. If people hadn't come in here and actually kind of changed it and made it into what it is today, it would be pretty much a wasteland. I mean, someone else probably would have come to use the land, but I don't think it would be this kind of oasis that it is now. And I hope you guys get a chance to have a little look around because you'll see how it's really expanded and become something really beautiful. I don't know, you might want to take some footage of that picture over there, but that black and white picture on the banner is what it used to look like. So it's just like completely barren wasteland. And yeah, I think the fact that this space, which was pretty much useless, has now been turned into something really beautiful, which really supports the community and hosts lots of different events, and people can buy things for their garden and they can learn how to do their own gardening with permaculture design certificates and urban farming courses, and we have like bread making courses and cheese making and soap making and all these things where people can learn how to enhance their own lives. I think that's really exciting. And it's a real community hub, like people come to meet here and we have like festivals and gatherings and things, and so it's pretty special to have that kind of so close to the city. Yeah.
As like, if you were to go in the city, do you reckon like all the businesses in there are more targeted towards tourists or locals?
I feel like you kind of asked me that in the first question. Yeah, it's a little bit hard for me to say.
Do you think that if Ceres moved to the city, would it have the same effect as it does now?
It quite possibly could. It's a little bit hard to say because it's been here for so long, and so people know about it and come back here because they've been here 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I think in some ways we'd have more traffic because the city has more foot traffic around. People have to come out here especially.
Yeah.
But the idea of this existing near the city, like the amount of land that this would require, it seems almost unlikely nowadays because land is at such a premium. So I don't know if you could create the same thing now. Some of them are tourists and they just have heard about it and they just want to see what this is because it sounds like an interesting place and they've heard about it in their Lonely Planet guide or something. Other people are really wanting to come to learn so that they can then reproduce something where they're from. And so we do have people coming from Korea, all sorts of places, specifically to learn more about this kind of a model of a not-for-profit organisation with these particular structures, because everything here, the nursery, the cafe, the market, it all feeds money back into the running of Ceres. So that's kind of our business model. All the enterprises feed back into the running of Ceres. So yeah, people are really curious, like how does that work? How did you create it in the first place? Do you have a board or do you have directors? Like how does the structure of Ceres actually work with you guys? How did you raise money to make it happen? All those kind of things. And so we try to help people as best we can, but it's also quite complex and complicated and not easy to reproduce just like that because every place will have its own limitations and restrictions.
How would you describe that Ceres as grown from when it was first built?
So when it was first built, it was pretty much just the community garden plots and some chickens. And you can have a look on our Facebook page. There's some really early photos that are on there at the moment, which is cool. They're from 1986. And then some school groups started coming around doing tours, and then people decided that they needed somewhere to feed the school kids, and so then a kind of a canteen type thing was created, and that became the cafe. And then there was a nursery, and all of these other elements were added on over time, and now it's this huge site with all of these different enterprises and site groups and events happening, so it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
I think that's everything.